Thank you, John. I don't know where I go from there. The first person I have to thank is Professor Bill Babcock, who's deceased quite a few years ago. But I had Professor Babcock for 2 transportation courses my junior year in college. But also, he soon became controller of or director of highways, and then later a state highway administrator. And in that duties, he set up a training program for new engineers that came out of college. He also started funding research assistantships, research projects at NC State. And I was fortunate to get an early research project, and that's how I got my Master of Science degree. You talk about the small committee group that we started with. Actually, when I first went to work in 1961, there were 2 of us that were basically just working on cooperative thoroughfare plans with municipalities across the state. But we were able to expand and do a better job. Another thing I learned from Bill Babcock was the importance of continuing education. So I tried to encourage new staff, if they came in with just a bachelor's degree, to go ahead and work on that extra degree. And I was very fortunate that most of them did, and they produced a lot of good work that was very beneficial to us in our work in transportation planning. I sort of remembered just recently, I was reminded that Dr. Aaron Chatterjee just retired in June as Professor Emeritus at Tennessee University of Tennessee. Aaron came to work for me in the late 60s while he worked on his PhD at NC State. His research later proved to be very beneficial to us in some of our later work. The next one that came along was Sinhame Kasnabish. Don't ask me to spell that name. But he got his PhD degree. Bill Babcock at that time happened to be the chair of his particular committee. His dissertation was 600 pages long. But again, it's proved to be, over the years, beneficial research. Next came Dr. David Modlin, Dr. Larry Good, Dr. Scott Leftwich, Dr. Larry McPherson, and I was the last one in 1982. But I hope there will be others that comes along, because again, it does prove beneficial for the work that we do in transportation system planning. I'd like to thank all of those people that I worked with over the years. There's a lot of them. I cherish the memories. Some of them are passed on. I was able to meet a lot of people across this state, and we've got a great state. I'm proud to have been some service to this state. I'd also like to thank one particular person. That's my wife, Janice. She sort of stuck with me through thick or thin, and I can remember getting my draft master's thesis back on a Thursday. It had to be in the 5 copies had to be in the graduate school on Monday. I had to rewrite. We had to type it on multilith. Had to get it printed and into the graduate office. I was about ready to give up sometimes, but she kept saying, "We can do it." We watched the sun go down on Saturday night. The sun came up on Sunday morning. And I think we finally finished at 10 o'clock Sunday night. And I carried it to the printers. And somehow, I got it into the graduate office at 15 minutes till 5 on Monday. She asked me, "Do you want to go ahead and get your PhD?" I says, "No way." So it took 12 years before I finally decided, yes, I'll go back and try to do that. So she has really been supportive. She's been supportive of my participation in Transportation Research Board. She's been supportive of my participation in professional societies such as ITE and others. Anytime there's a meeting or something, she says, go. I got cut from the list of possible attendees to go to Washington for the annual TRB meeting on, I think it was either Thursday or Friday before the thing was starting. I called her and I says, it looks like I'm not going to be able to go. I'm not sure. I might have been chairman of the committee that year, but I can't remember. She said one thing, go buy an airline ticket and go. I did. But that's the kind of support that she's always given me. It's always go, do it if you need to do it. And she goes with me many times. So I really appreciate that. And lastly, I want to thank, I've got my 3 daughters here today and their families, and I've got extended family. Some aunts and uncles here today. Please stand. I don't know, Janice, you don't need to stand because she broke her ankle back in March and she's a little bit of a cripple now. But she gets around pretty good. So, thank you. And thank you.